Hello, hello, my crafty friends. It's Candy from sweetstamper.com, and I am so happy to be with you here today. It is Teach Me Tuesday. Each Tuesday, I come here with Facebook Live and give you some free demonstration and teaching tips. So today is the day. I confess to you that I am still, even though I came back a week ago from vacation, my head is still, I can't figure out what day of the week it is. Hey Diane, I'm so glad to see you. I think part of it is, it's just this time of year when everything is so busy. And even though COVID is going on and we're not going out to like the concerts and typical things like that we would be going to, or office parties, it does, I don't know, at least in my world, there's a lot going on. So, and there's a lot going on in the stamping world. So that's part of why there's a lot going on. And then we also have, our godson is coming. Hey Betty, I'm glad to see you here, and Kay as well. Hello, Susan. Our godson has been coming to stay with us during the holidays for about, I think this is like the 5th year. And so he comes in tomorrow and we're super excited about that. Hey Gail, I'm glad you're here. And Susie, now you see you just had your carrot soup. I will tell you, Susie, that I fixed some really good soup the other day, and I had to write it down because I was I do a lot of creating in the kitchen, just like I do with my stamping. Hey Velma, I'm glad you're here. So I wrote it down, but I had a pound of hamburger meat and I was like, okay, I need to make some soup because we've had beautifully cold weather. And it's been absolutely glorious, perfect soup weather. Hey, Marlene. And so anyway, I ended up making soup with ground beef and fire roasted tomatoes and basmati rice and cabbage. And it turned out so good. It was just that warm bowl of goodness. Hey, Sue, I'm glad you're here. So as I was saying before, I went down 3 other rabbit trails, I think. Our godson is coming in tomorrow and he stays for a month. So he is a grad student up at Purdue. We've known his parents for 30 plus years and have known Niall and his twin sister since they were born. And that was from our England years. And so he came over here to do his master's degree studies and then stayed to do PhD. And so it's too expensive for him to go back to the UK for the holidays. Of course, right now it would be impossible to go with COVID. So we are able to be his host home for the holidays. And it's just so much fun having him here. He's like family. He's like another son to us. So kind of excited about him coming. So anyway, I know I'm a few minutes late today. And as I said, there's a whole lot going on in the stamping world. You should have received my email updates today telling you about the big sale going on. So in addition to the year-end closeouts that Stampin' Up! Is doing, they also refreshed the clearance rack. So there's just huge savings. I can tell you there's a bunch of stuff that's already sold out, but sold out early. And so I know that I was on pretty early this morning getting some stuff, but I mean, I knew that, sorry, I'm silencing my phone so I don't get, I've got, crazy messages coming through while I'm trying to chat with y'all. But anyway, I knew that they were refreshing the clearance rack. We knew about clearance rack, and we knew about the closeout yesterday. But and that it was going to be going live at like, I don't know, right after midnight Mountain Time. I'm like, I can't stay up that late. I'm too old for that. So I just, I got up at my usual time and decided that I probably ought to do that. Order first thing. And I will say, as I was placing my order, I thought, oh crumbs, I really need to get that message to everybody. So I kind of broke away. Thankfully, by the time I came back, there was nothing in my basket that was sold out, but I do have friends that had things in their basket and they were already gone. Because I mean, like snail adhesive, they had snail adhesive for less than $3 for the whole. And they had the refills for less than $2. I mean, it was just dirt cheap. And so lots of other things that are just phenomenal prices, and they're still there. A lot of it's still there. So anyway, let me get my computer going here so that I can see what you are seeing and not end up doing something weird when I turn the camera down, because once the camera goes down, I can't really see because I've got it down this way. So I'm going to bring you down and show you some things, and then we're going to do a little bit of Teach Me Tuesday crafting. So it's still, I will say I got my laptop back, which I'm super happy about. And for one thing, I can carry it around with me wherever I go. And my husband teases me that my office is anywhere I happen to land in the house, and it's so true. But that's one of the joys of working from home is, you know, I can just open my laptop in my comfy chair or in the office or wherever and get down to business. Diane, so many things are gone. Yeah. You know, that's just kind of the way those things go sometimes. It's just, you know, when Stampin' Up does those clearance rack refreshes, they're like a bargain basement. And so I'm from the era when there were true bargain basements, like, you know, women going wild in basements with, you know, sale items flying every which way and, you know, people scrambling to get things. So there are, even on the holiday catalog items, they have some of those items, I think they're up to 50% off in the holiday. For the clearance rack, it's up to 60% off. So, and of course, those of us who are demonstrators, we get 20 to 25% off on top of the sale price. So it's just incredible, incredible deals. I will tell you that if you are not yet a demonstrator, you can do that today. You don't have to place, like, not place orders. You don't have to hold classes and things like that. You can just be a bargain shopper and enjoy the demonstrator discount. So if you're interested in that, I'll post the link when I'm done here today, and you can always just, you know, text me or something and or message me and let me know if you have any questions. I'd love for you to be a part of my team. I will tell you that I'm having my team meeting tonight. And this is the second year in December for our team meeting. I do bingo for my team. And I do bingo for them for $10 ticket, which is nothing. When I run bingo for my customers, I do it at $40. And that covers just prizes and shipping, you know, that's it. But for my team, I do that. This is my Christmas gift to them. So obviously I'm putting in a lot of cash for prizes and able to send those out. And that's just my way to love on them during the holidays. So we're doing bingo on Zoom, which is the way I've been doing it since March. So anyway, okay, I will quit rabbiting on and I will bring you down to show you where we're going to go today. I am still definitely in holiday mode for stamping. So let's see how I can show you what's going on here. And hopefully I have a good view for you. I don't want to drop the camera out of the tripod. I'm probably giving you my lap. Let's see. It's going to take a second because there's a lag on, on Facebook. But anyway, I wanted to start out by showing you something that you may have missed. And this was one of those items that was carried over from last holiday catalog. And I think that it's easy to miss, and I don't want you to miss it. So let me show you, I guess I'll show you the samples first, and then I'll show you the items. So you can see that I've made a number of different cards, and even like this little mini 3x3 card, I really like these to tuck into, you know, a basket of goodies, to tuck into a gift or something. We do have the little envelopes for these, but these of course cannot be mailed. They are too small to go through the regular mail. But this is just a lovely suite of products, and it's one of those, I think they're called, not bundles, they're called, I can't think of the name. But it's where you get one price, and the original price on this was $70, and it's being clearanced out. I can't even remember the price, but it's really, really reduced. So you have a photopolymer stamp set and really nice classic Christmas images. I love, love, love this tree. You've got little candy canes here and this really nice full Christmas tree as well. And then you have these gifts, and these are two-step stamping. So you stamp the gifts and then you stamp the little bows on top. And I will tell you my favorite part of this, well, probably my two favorite parts. One is I love this Comfort and Joy. This is absolutely gorgeous. It fits into our small ornament punch. So I've used it that way quite a bit. I think Comfort and Joy is not only a beautiful part of a Christmas carol, but what I love about it too is, I know I've spoken to y'all before about, you know, those people during the holidays where it's going to be a poignant time for them. They've lost a loved one. It's the anniversary of a loved one's death, or maybe it's their first Christmas without someone. And so I think this Comfort and Joy is a beautiful, beautiful holiday greeting. And sweet. Thank you, Marlene. So my other favorite part of this, this little collection is this die right here. Long time ago, we had a punch that was somewhat similar to this. And I love, love, love that punch, one of my all-time favorites, because so many of our words fit into this. And of course, you can use this year-round. In fact, you could use the gifts year-round. So that kind of extends the use of this particular suite. So yeah, I mean, these gifts could easily go on a birthday card or something. So what's cool about this is, in addition to the stamps and the dies, it also comes with a large, I think it's 48 sheets, and this is just what I have left of mine, but you get designer paper, and it's all specialty paper. So it's foiled on one side and then plain on the other. So these make great backgrounds. This is my favorite piece. These little candy canes are super cute, but this was my other, I love this piece too, with the Christmas trees and the gold foiling in them. And then I'm going to use a little piece of this candy cane paper today. I'm using actually both sides today in a demonstration. So anyway, there's a lot of these. And then the other thing that comes with this, and this is called the Most Wonderful Time Suite. I don't even know if I have any of them left. It also comes, it comes with a bunch of these. So these are white with gold. I forgot about these. And these are actually already sized for a traditional size card. So here's my card base, and you see how that is all ready to go. It's already sized. So it will go on a regular card base. And then there's also, and I think I may have used them all, or maybe I put them somewhere different, but it also comes with a bunch of die cut stickers. And the die cut stickers I will show you. I think I used them all, because I did a lot of card making with this. Makes a cute little scrapbook too. Oh, I should show you. Anyway, we did a beautiful scrapbook class at my last retreat using this whole suite. Let me show you. I need to pull these out of this display anyway. There are these lovely, lovely, ooh, this is really stuck down, die cuts. And there's also this fun tinsel ribbon. And, this is really stuck down. There we go. So this card is a note card. And you may wonder how the ends got rounded, but you can just take a note card and round the ends. But you see this gold, it looks like tinsel. It looks like your tinsel on a Christmas tree. But that is in here. You also have a bunch of these little not silver, they're gold stars, and they have a little sticky on the back. So they're already adhesive. This one shows you, these are some of the die cuts. So the die cuts incorporate a bunch of different deer in different poses. And then you get some of these holly berries. And this is a die cut as well, a self-adhesive die cut. This little tag, what's the word I'm looking for? where you can put a greeting. So there's just a ton of things in here. These are also, these little deer here are also some of the self-adhesive die cuts. And I want you to notice, this is, I thought this was so cute, if I do say so myself. And I think I fussy cut that. But I made this one into a girl deer by just putting that little bow in her, above her ears. So these little stars, all of those are self-adhesive die cuts. Most wonderful time of the year. It is, here, this will showcase the stamp. So here, this tree has been colored with the blends. And then this is the same tree. I've done it twice with 2 different greens, and I heat embossed that one. So this is, there's a refill kit as well as the full-on suite. So this is just a top recommendation for you that is in the closeouts for the end of year. I really, really love this set. So that is what I'm using today. Well, I'm using the paper today. I'm going to do what I promised you, and that was to show you how to use these Sweetest Time dies. I did the stamps on Thursday for our simple and stepped up cards. We used just the stamps, mainly the candles, but I felt like I wanted to show you how to use the dies because they're a little bit, I wouldn't say fussy, but they're not straightforward. So that's why I wanted to use those. Now Velma's telling me that she bought this suite last year and made so many cards. Use the remaining supplies to make 50 plus more this year. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. I mean, I thought it was a great deal. At $70, I thought this was a great deal to begin with. It has the ribbon and everything too. And then now it's like, I don't know. I don't want to quote the price because I don't remember. I had a lot of things, trying to let my team know about everything this morning, trying to let my customers know about everything this morning. So, you know, that particular piece of information has definitely left my brain. Okay, so that is Most Wonderful Time. I'm going to be using the paper from that. Now let me show you one more thing before I start stamping, because once I start stamping, this place will be a little bit even messier. This is the last day to get in on my winter cards class, and my winter cards class, I felt like I wanted to do, this is my Cards with a Twist. I run this class every month, and it's 8 cards, and it's a $35 class. And you get everything you need to make 8 different cards, plus your envelopes. And then for this one, you're getting a half a pack of this beautiful paper. And then you're also getting these red rhinestones. And then you're going to get glue dots, because you're going to end up using glue dots on a lot of these things. These little skinny pieces of foil. The best way to adhere that is with glue dots. So I felt like that would be a good fit for this particular class. And that, like I said, it includes shipping. So this is the one card that you're going to do a bit of coloring on. These others are really just stamp and assemble. One other thing, and I know my ADD brain's going in umpteen different directions, but one other thing I wanted to mention is in the clearance rack right now is there are a number of the Stampin Blends. That's one of my top picks for the clearance rack right now. And there are just singles. So now when you buy Stampin Blends, you buy them as a pair. And you get a light and a dark of the color. So this is light and dark. Poppy Parade is what I used here. It used to be when we first introduced blends that you would purchase the light or the dark or both, but they weren't bundled together. Well, I'm not sure why, but Stampin' Up! Decided that in this current catalog and moving forward, they would only offer Stampin' Blends in a pair. And so you get the light and dark of each color. But there are a number of singles that are in the clearance rack right now. And I know for me, not only are they a great price, but there are some colors where I would use more of the dark or more of the light. And so I went in, that's one of the things that I purchased this morning in the clearance rack. Not sure if there's any of them left, but they're a great price. And even non-clearance rack price, they're really reasonable. You get the pair for $9. So I do offer, when I do this Cards with a Twist class, I call it Cards with a Twist because I give you 2 each of 4 designs with a little twist. So here I've twisted by changing out the card bases and the designer paper. Here I did a twist by changing out the orientation. So although it's 2 each of 4 designs, you effectively get 8 designs, and just with some little differences in each one. And it's just, I love designing this way. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite things to do. I look forward to designing for this class every single month. But I just lost my train of thought. I was talking about blends, and they're a great, I know that when I offer this class, it's a $35 class. If you want to add on any of the extra supplies like the blends or the dyes, I give you a 10% price break on those items. So if you were inclined to get these dyes, which I highly recommend, this is no longer a bundle in the current catalog because it was in there last year. So these stamps are gorgeous. They're used any time of the year. I kind of incorporated winter color palette and winter papers, but you can use these any time of the year. I love the fact that you have 6 amazing greetings. Inside and outside, you can use those. And then the dies are to die for, no pun intended. This is obviously my favorite, that big filigree. But I mean, look at that nice label with, you could even use that on a masculine card because it has kind of nice angles on it. A really nice oval. This one is, yeah, they're just awesome dies. Okay, I will quit waxing poetic about these gorgeous dies. I do love this class, I will say. And today is the absolute last day to sign up for this. I did send that link out in my email news this morning. So if that is handy, it will be right there. I do also want to remind you, I've been talking about it a little bit, that tomorrow night I'm going to be doing live stamping here. I have some fun, quick and easy cards that were, I have card kits from a promotion I was doing when you purchased during our 24-hour sale. We've had a lot of sales this month. So some people got those kits. Even if you didn't get a kit, you're welcome to come hang out with me here and do some stamping. Yeah, Kay, I think the dies are to die for. I think they're really, really gorgeous. Okay. Now, I need to get my big boss over here because I'm going to show you what we're going to do today with these dies. Like I said, they're a little bit tricky, and they're a little bit tricky because I'm going to pull these 2 out because that's what I'm going to use first. Because one side cuts out and one side does not. And it's a little bit, I'd say maybe not unusual, because we have a couple of other die sets like this, but I think it more than anything, it just requires a little bit of instruction. So let me get my plates here and my platform. You know, somebody had asked me recently about the magnetic platform. Stampin' Up, when we introduced our new Big Boss machine, we do have a, what do you call it, a magnetic platform that goes with this. However, there were some issues. There were some quality issues with it. So Stampin' Up has pulled that item. You can no longer purchase it. I think they've kind of gone back to the manufacturer to kind of work out some of those kinks. So if you like using a magnetic platform with your Big Boss machine, I'll tell you a couple of things. First of all, I've been using mine with no platform, no magnetic platform, and I've had no issues whatsoever. I think that in the past, our machine before, the big shot, it seemed like the dies just jumped around a lot more than they do on this machine. At least that's my experience. So I've been using it very successfully without. The other thing is, of course, before the magnetic platforms were introduced, we would just use, this is actually Post-it note tape. That's what this item is. And it's actually the Post-it brand. I get this from Amazon. So you can just use this and just pull it off. Or you can actually use Post-it notes, and that works extremely well. Now, obviously, this is just a scrap, but I'm going to show you what I mean about this particular die. And I probably should cut it first because it'll be easier. Well, I'll do it afterwards. I think it'll work if I cut it afterwards just as easily as if I were to cut it now. And I'm not sure, where did I think my cutting thing got taken away. Okay, well, let me just show you what I mean, because it'll be easy. It'll be a good visual to see this. You can see where I've placed it right here. And let me just show you on this part of the die. This part up here is going to actually cut. This part is going to cut just the pieces. So let me show you what I mean. Probably it'd be easier if I just run it through here and quit yabbering. I don't know why I'm so talkative today. Okay, let's go down here. And I don't have something in place. Oh, I need my little thin die adapter. I didn't get all my pieces here for my platform. So let's get that. Oh, that was on my little cart still. I needed to do 1, and then 2, and then 3. So I needed to pay attention to my numbers, and I didn't. Okay, so let's see here. And then here. I don't know how many of y'all have these dies. And I know they are retiring. I'm not sure if they're reduced in price. I don't think that they are, but don't quote me on that. But I think they're a really nice set to have in your collection. I'm a sucker for holly and candy canes, so that was what drew me to these. So let me show you what this is going to look like. So when I pull that through, I'm just going to tuck this over to the side for a visual. You know, Marlene, that's a good question. I actually, when we learned initially to use the Big Shot when it first came out, we always did our dies face down. Now, there were some demonstrators that came along later and said, actually, if you die cut face up, it won't warp your plates as much. But having said that, I really haven't had an issue with my plates warping with this new machine. So I think it's just kind of a habit. And I think the other thing is that whenever you stamp, of course, you do have to go face down, or you end up having to, like, what's the word I'm looking for? You end up having to hold things together with a piece of tape or something. So for ease of use, that is my best bet. Now this is, you are going to want to use one of these little die brushes, and those are available. For purchase separately as an add-on item that goes with this little guy. And this is our, what do you call it? Doesn't go in that one, it goes in the other end. This is our Pikachu, and it is a really, really nifty tool. And if you take that end out, you can put this end in. So this is why it's called, or I think it's actually called Take Your Pick, because you can put lots of different accessories, or not lots, several different accessories on here. I will tell you that because this does take, you can see my hands are a little bit, my hands aren't always steady. My preference is to just keep one like this and to keep this on the other one, but that's what I could find. So when you purchase this little add-on brush, it comes with this little piece here, and that is because you're going to use that to take the pieces out of your die. And that way, it's just really, really easy to get your pieces out. Now, let me show you here. If you use this little pokey pit, the pokey tool, then you can get out those last little bits like that. Now, the nifty thing about this is that, grab some scissors over here, that once you, my little scissor charm is coming through. Once you cut that on the end, which you would typically do before you run it through the die, but you know, it's not necessary. It works either way. This is what I meant about this part cuts it completely off, and then this part stays on to give you like a little piece to attach to your card. So it really does make it super easy to use, but you do have to be mindful that it's not going to cut all of these things out. It's going to give you like a solid piece, and the only way to do that was to give you something to glue down. So you can save these pieces and you can use some. So let me just show you what I'm going to do with this one. I was going to use just, okay, these are marked down from $23.80 to $23.80 from $34. Okay, Velma, so I think you mean these dies. So that is good to know. I thought they were probably marked down, but I wasn't sure, so I didn't want to quote that. So I appreciate you checking on that for me. So what I've done here is I have a piece of just jade. This is shaded spruce, and look at that. Look how beautiful that goes on there. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to glue that down like so, and then I can either do my card, well, I can either do my card this way, but I'm actually wanting to do it this way. And this, what I like about this is not only can you do an excellent Christmas card, but you can also make a great seasonal thank you card or something like that. So what I'm going to do here is just adhere this, and this is just our Stampin' Seal, and I'm going to lay that right down like so. Like I said, if you ahead of time, if you make your strip 5.5 in length, then you don't have to worry about coming back in and cutting. But I didn't do that ahead of time because this was just a scrap lying on my table. Okay, so what you would want to do then, probably, I'm going to assume, I hope I put this on straight. Let's see, did I get it straight? Not quite. My daddy would have said it was good enough for government work, but we'll change that just a wee bit, like so. And then what I can do, no, it's still not straight. I think it was straighter before. $23.80 is actually a really good price for these dies, in my opinion. And I think that one of the things I wanted to do when I showed you the stamps last week on Thursday, I think the stamps really stand alone, and so do the dies. Because if you look at these dies, although yes, you can stamp and cut your holly leaves and berries, you can stamp and cut your candy canes, that's really everything in here. These stamps really don't need, other than these, everything else is not a die cut. And yet these die cuts don't need the stamps to go with them, if that makes sense. So that's one of the things I try to look for with dies and stamps, is which ones stand alone and which ones really need the items to go with them. You know what? I'm going to grab a I'm gonna grab some ribbon really quick. I could use this that's in my basket, but I don't really, I mean, that actually looks pretty good, but I wanna go with something neutral. And what I'm gonna do, like I said, this morning was kind of crazy. So when I was gathering stuff up for this demonstration, I had an idea. Well, I had started working on the candy cane piece yesterday, but then I decided I wanted to use this as well. And so, I don't know, do you guys have one of these where you just kind of have a little bag or a box where you have all of these little bits and pieces that you've die cut from other things and you just need a little something? So here, that's a little bit big. That greeting would kind of overpower everything. This, well, that already has stamping on it. That might work. Let's see if there's anything else in here. That's really big too. These are actually kind of fun, but I think they're too small. This would actually be right about what I want to use. So I think I'm going to use that. And let's see if there's anything else in here that would be super, oh, now here's another one that I could use that one too. So let's see if there's anything else in here. These are just too big. See, actually that looks kind of good, but it's a little bigger than what I was wanting to use here. And then there's that vellum piece. So let's just kind of play with these a little bit and see. I'm thinking you guys have something similar where you just, yeah, Velma, you meant the die cuts. You keep your dies in a stamp case too. Yeah, it just makes things a lot simpler. Okay, so let's see where we're gonna go here. I'm kind of inclined to go with that or even with this, kind of like that. The stitched. Now this is the, what are they called? Celebration labels, and I shrunk that label. So that was what I did a demonstration on how to do that. Now, you could, if you wanted to, you could put a contrasting piece of cardstock under here, but I kind of like this Just Jade and the Shaded Spruce together. So let me just grab a piece of white ribbon, and we're gonna get this done and dusted quickly. This is that ribbon I was telling you about. I couldn't lay my hand on it because I placed it in my ribbon drawer. This is that tinsel ribbon that comes with the Most Wonderful Time suite. Isn't that fun? That would be kind of fun too. And it's already kind of, it already has that kind of curling aspect to it. So, hey, Diana, I'm glad you joined late, and Kathy's joining me late as well, and Crystal's here. Wow, we've picked up a bunch of people. So, yay, we're just playing with these dies and demonstrating how to use them to the, in an easy way, or I guess really kind of the way that they work. So let me see, I've got, this is Just Jade ribbon. That kind of looks nice, just very monochromatic. I could even go with the Just Jade gingham, which I think adds kind of a little bit of a playful look and kind of brings some light because I'm going to be using this white tag here, kind of like that. And then, or I could use this. Let me just kind of show you where I'm going. So very much monochromatic. Or I could add some white ribbon. So that brings a little pop of color with the white seam binding. So I will let you guys tell me what you're thinking about that while I am doing a tag here to, I actually wanted to make this into a thank you. And I think, oh, look at there, it fits. I really like, this is the Poinsettia Petals, and I used this for my November Cards with a Twist class. And I think one of the things I love about this is I like that thank you. You know, I am from the era where you wrote thank you notes and have tried to instill that in my children and grandchildren. Are a little different kettle of fish there, but getting them to write thank you notes. But thank you notes are a beautiful, beautiful, not just a tradition, but I think they're a beautiful expression of our thanks. So I do like to do thank you notes. And And I thought this would make a lovely, okay, we've got lots of different, okay, so I've got several people thinking the white. I've got some going for the gingham or the gold. I think we're gonna go with the white because we've got several people. Yeah, I thought that this Just Jade ribbon was a little bit too much Just Jade. You know, you gotta have a little contrast going there. So let's add that. And I thought I had left over here in my windowsill. I thought I had left some rhinestones over here. I was probably tidying up because I think that would be like the perfect little something here. Okay, and I'm using Just Jade ink to go with my Just Jade card base. So let's do this. And again, this is the Celebration labels, but I shrunk it down in the Big Shot. Not Big Shot, it's a Big Boss now. Used to be the Big Shot, and now it's the Big Boss. Let's see. I think if I do that, and you remember that because it's photopolymer, you notice I'm holding it down for a few seconds, and then that gives me a really nice, I'm stamping upside down. It might be a tiny bit crooked, but not too bad. And then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this up on dimensionals, and this is going to make a great thank you note. I already know, like my sister-in-law, she's going to send us something. We just left them in Florida, and I know she's going to send us something for Christmas. So this will be a thank you note that is all ready to go. Now we're gonna gussy it up a little bit, add a few little bits and pieces. And this is where I think that your Christmas stamps and your Christmas papers and Christmas die cuts go beyond just making Christmas cards. But you know, there's other cards that we make during the season, whether it's thinking of you or whether it is thank you. There are other things that we can do with our Christmas stamps and dies. And I know personally, they're my absolute favorite, so I want to get as much mileage as I can out of them. I've always been a little bit of a Christmas junkie. Now, you know, this kind of depends on your tolerance for having, oh, we've got another, we have more golden gingham weighing in here. So let's just see how we get on. This is sticking up a little bit. I only put seal right there. So I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue there, and I got more than I needed. So let's see if I can pull some of that off. And I think if I just pull that down, you could, if you wanted to, add a little bit underneath some of these small pieces. But see, this sticks up a little bit, and to me, that is just fine. But let's just do a little bit of this action. Do I have anything over here I can use? I don't have my my trusty silicone mat, so let me just grab another piece of grid paper. And what I'm going to do is just make a little pool. This is my gluey sponge that I always keep just for this purpose. And I'm just going to grab a tiny little layer of that, and then I can brush it there, and look at that. It'll just pop down for me. And that is going to keep those from, I mean, I will say, I think it looks fine with them sticking up, but my one thing I would want to make sure, and that is that when you're putting it in the envelope, when those little guys are sticking up, sometimes they'll just catch, and then they'll rip, and then your card is kind of ruined. So we don't really want that to happen. So that is just some, hey Avenel, I'm glad you're here with us today. We are just experimenting and working with these Sweet Borders dies, which go with, well, I guess I could put them back in here. These coordinate with the Sweetest time stamp set. But what I'm showing today is how they really just stand alone. You don't have to have the stamps to use them, and they are on sale as of today. So this is coming along very nicely. I will add a few more bits and pieces. So let's see. We're going to either add this ribbon. That gingham, I will say, looks really nice there. I think it brings some kind of playfulness in there. The white is very classic and brings in that bold white. And then we even had some votes for this gold tinsel, which is a very different look. I think I'm going to go with this gingham. And I will say that one of the things I like doing with cards, I know that we often like to use just enough ribbon and really kind of conserve our ribbon as well as our other embellishments and our other supplies, but sometimes it's nice to just be a little bit extravagant with it. And then when you open the inside of the card, you have this ribbon running all the way through, and it is a nice look. So let's see if we can just pop that up like so, and bring that like so. Well, I think I can position it after I get this tied. So I'm going to tie it pretty taut. I want it to be a nice, I want it to be a taut piece of ribbon and not all soft, and I don't want it all wimpy looking. So let me just bring that over like so, and then I can do like that. I think that was a good call. A couple people liked the gingham, and I think it's softer. The white was a really stark white because this is such a bright white. So let's just see. I think we do need some other little something. We need some embellishments on here or a little stamp. Let's see what we can find here. Ooh, you know what might look really nice? I think that we're going to add a couple of holly leaves. I think that might just do our trick, and then we're going to also add a couple of embellishments. Now, I could, if I had a mind to, and we'll kind of see how we get on with this card, we could add a little bit of these guys. These little guys came out of here, and what do you guys think about adding a couple of these little pine boughs? So this is where these pieces come in handy. I could even do something like that. So I'll let you guys kind of think about that, whether I need to do that, or maybe I'll just do some of these little holly leaves. Maybe I'll do those on the inside and put these on the outside. So definitely waiting to hear what you guys have to say. Hey, Betty, I'm glad, you know what? I guess you were here earlier and I said hello. You've been quiet. So I'm glad Diana's liking this as well. So let's just do tone on tone with these holly leaves on the inside of the card. Do I happen to have a mat? No. Oh, I just found my, what do you call it? My paper trimmer. It's inside my desk. So let's just do like so, and put a couple of holly leaves on the inside of my card. So there's the large one, and then here's the small one. I don't even know if I have, oh yes, I do have a cleaner over here. Okay, Candy, pay attention here and clean your stamps. How do you get the blue grid paper? You know what, Betty? This was actually, I think you went to On Stage. I think On Stage was online. On Stage is the Stampin' Up! Convention, and they did it online this year. And it was actually, if you got the On Stage, like, kit, I want to say, it came with several sheets of this blue grid paper. It is very pretty, isn't it? I think it's Pacific Point. So it's kind of cool to look at and to work with. We do have some others in the online store, some colored, we have the in color grid paper, and I think as a demonstrator, Betty, if you go into the supply list, there is some of that holiday grid paper. I don't think it's in the online store. I think it's a demonstrator only item, but really cute. And it's actually great for if you're having grandkids over and they're gonna do any kind of crafting or even just eating. It's nice to have a paper placemat that you can throw away. So that is another little idea. Now this, do I have the real red? Nope. You know what? I'm going to actually use this Melon Mambo I was going to use on one of my cards. and I don't have my real red ink pad is down in the office where I've been doing Christmas cards, getting them ready for the mail. I'm up to 180 so far, and I'm not finished yet. So I do send out a lot of Christmas cards. So let's just add this little guy here, this little holly berry. Oh, I didn't think I was going to use all these stamps today, but turns out that I am. So let's just see how this will look. Hopefully this is going to look nice here. Let's see. How do I want to position these? I think like so. And then we have some holly berries. Now notice, even though this is Melon Mambo, you see, because I'm stamping on green, it really looks more red because it's incorporating the two colors. Okay, all the stamping is done. Let's see what we're going to do with adding a few of these little die cuts. And then we're going to add a little bit of bling, and then we have a really nice thank you note that is perfect for the holidays. So let's get that gluey sponge going. And I know I want to use a couple of these little guys here. And then I think that other one might be a little bit too big. This piece here, I think it might be too much of a good thing. What do you guys think? Does that look good, or is that too much? You guys tell me if you like that big piece or not. And while you're weighing in on that, I'm just going to grab a little bit of bling, and then this card is done. I could have put a white inside, but you know, that's light enough to write on. Let's see. Oh, I can already tell what I'm going to want to use on that. Sometimes you kind of have to pull things out before you can think of what you want to use. The big piece is too much. That's what I was thinking too, Velma. Okay, it kind of overpowers, doesn't it? I think less is more on this. So let's just add maybe one more of these little pine boughs. Again, that little gluey sponge gives you just enough. You know, one of the things that I will tell you about this, about the green glue, as we sometimes call it. This glue is so strong and it's just brilliant to use. But if you just squirt it on, a lot of times you'll end up getting too much and it'll kind of pool. And then it dries clear, but it's shiny and it's just kind of unsightly. So you have to, you know, a little goes a long way, and that is my best tip for using this on small spaces, is to get a gluey sponge, keep it for that purpose. And I have this on here because, yeah, when you get that glue on your fingers, it does not wash off. This is not water-soluble glue. It's best taken off with something like Goo Gone. Okay, so I think we're in really good shape here. The last little thing that we're going to do, and then I'm going to show you how to use the candy canes, let me just show you what we can do here. So I have, these are the silver from the metallic pearls, and I think that might look really cool there, just to add a little something something. I could use the white pearls. I think, again, they might be a little bit stark, which is why I liked that gingham ribbon. I could also, one of my absolute favorites, is the holiday rhinestones. And what I love about them is because you have so many great colors. And I think, honestly, these light ones or the dark green ones would look really good. So I'm just going to kind of lay these out and let you guys weigh in while I tidy up my space here just a wee bit. I don't think I'm going to need these again, so I'm going to go ahead and clean these and put them away. So let's see what we're thinking. Before let's finish this up, and then we're going to move on to doing something with the candy cane dies, which are equally fun to use. And let's get this little guy cleaned. and put away. Okay, Kay, you're liking the green. Diana's saying the silver. I think probably the pearls are going to be a little bit bright, so I think we're probably going to be between here and here. I think that's probably going to be where people are going to weigh in. Let's see, that extra pearl there, we can keep that for another time. Did I get another one on me? No. Sometimes you end up with all kinds of sparklies on your fingernails. Susie, thank you for the Facebook Live twice a week. We found out today our COVID restrictions in Washington have been extended until January 4th. I enjoy having you join me for lunch. Thank you so much, Susie, for saying that. I'm very sorry that your COVID restrictions have been extended in Washington because I know it makes life very difficult. But I do appreciate you telling me because I will, I started this second Facebook Live I think about a month into COVID, and I was really just kind of contemplating over the last week or so. I thought, is that second one making a difference, or is it just too much? So I appreciate, I really was just kind of praying about, using my time wisely, and was this a good, was this something that was actually helping? And I'm glad to know that it is. So I appreciate you telling me, because I always relied heavily on feedback for my team, for my customers. I try to listen and be a good listener, not only in my personal life, but also just to hear what it is that people are wanting, because I can sit here and stamp, but I want to meet the needs that y'all have, or just kind of help you in your stamping journey to know, kind of what are going to be the best stamps for you, what are going to be the best tools for you, and what's my experience with them, and how, if that will help you. So, so Betty, you're liking the second one too, and Diana, these make my week even when watching the replay. Okay, well, thank you, ladies. I appreciate that so much. And, my husband was asking me today because he has liked my Sweet Stamper page, because he's a good husband that way, very supportive. And so the notifications come up, and when I post something, and he said, I see that you're doing Teach Me Tuesday. He said, didn't it used to be called something else? And I said, that's right. It was called Tuesday at 2, because I only did the one. And I told him, I said, when I incorporated the second one, I needed to, for my own benefit, differentiate between the two. I didn't want to just do the same thing twice. And so that kind of helped me in my mind with, I guess, purposefulness, that my Tuesday one would be a teaching time, and my Thursday one would be something just quick and easy, and that's kind of how I came up with the simple and then the stepped up, so that we have something quick on Thursdays and something a little bit more involved on Tuesdays. Although having said that, I think that I'm way over on time. Yikes. I knew today would be longer. That Thursday ends up being just as long as Tuesday most of the time. So, there's that. Okay. So I've got a couple of people liking the silver ones, and a couple of people liking I'm just going to kind of put a couple down here and not press them down too much, and we'll see what we think. I could even put these like here. That's going to be distracting. Then I also have these light colored ones, which are actually Pool Party, but I think they end up looking kind of cool here. They look like green when you put them down there. They look like light green. And then I have these actual spruce ones here, the dark green. So, there's 3 different shades there, just a little bit of a difference. So, I'm glad you like the colors, Diane. One of the things that I was doing this week was putting together some playlists on my YouTube channel. And I do upload these onto YouTube, so that if you miss them here, you can catch them on YouTube. Oh, I think that's crooked. but I was putting them together, and so one of the kind of series I was putting together was using the new In colors. And of course, this is the Just Jade, and I think putting it with Shaded Spruce is just a match made in heaven. Okay, so Kay, you're liking the light green. I think that's a good call. I'm just going to go with that. And I think, I will say I particularly love these with blues because they're the silver, but this silver has a little bit of a blue cast to it. And so I tend to like these with blue, but they look pretty good here too. So if you have these metallic pearls, I think you get silver and gold, so they're really, really versatile. And I'm just going to leave that one there and then add a couple more there. And let's just pull that big one there. I think that's going to be it. Boom, done. I think that just is. Okay. And Betty, you're liking the spruce ones? I think we could do that too. You know, you could plug up some of these holes, but I think that's it. Honestly, quick and easy card, because this was already, that was in my scrap pile. This I ran through the Big Shot, or the Big Boss, and that was it. Boom, done. Okay, and I didn't put a white panel on the inside. I just did a little bit of stamping. So there's my thank you card ready to go. Now, the next piece I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you, is partially done, and I'm doing that partly because of time. So this is what I was playing around with. Rather than doing a card, I thought I would do a tag. And I'm not going to have time. Maybe I'll make it and then just show you a picture. But I will say this is part of that. This is part of the paper I'm using on this tag. But if you look at the flip side, I really like these candy canes. Look at how pretty that looks with Cocoa Rose, because these candy canes are a softer red and even have some pink. And with that, combined with that old olive, I think that makes a really pretty card. And you see how you could maybe use some of the candy cane die cuts, and yeah, that would be super cute. But I think I'm going to run out of time. So you can see I had a bunch of pieces in here for what I might end up doing. So what I thought I would do was make a pretty tag, because we are at that time of year when you need some cool tags. And what I've got here is, I think this is 5 3/4. I think it's a little bigger than 5 1/2. And this is centimeters. Oh, you know what? Here we go. I've got it over here. This is, oh no, it is 5 1/2. Okay. Okay, I did do 5 1/2 by 3. So that's a nice big chunky tag. And this is, like I said, this is from the Sweetest, not Sweetest Time, Most Wonderful Time of the Year. And so this is 5 1/2 by 3. This is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. And that's going to give me a nice tag to put on a gift bag. So let me just kind of show you where I'm going here, because this is just one of those little dollar store, but look what happens when you put a tag like this on it. And even if you have a larger bag like this tag is substantial enough that, you know, you can do all of your pretty stamping, your pretty die cuts on this, and then just use a generic bag and you're done. Now, I've already run this through. It runs just like the other one. Which one did we use? The holly one. But what I am going to use on this one is, the stripes look pretty cute behind there, but I really want this super high contrast of putting the white behind there, I think. So you guys tell me what you, yeah, I think that's better, especially with the white, with the stripes. So I don't know, you guys tell me, do you like the white behind there, or do you like just the stripes? I'm going to get my paper trimmer out and let you guys tell me what you think. And while you're telling me what you think, I know I'm going to trim this down just a wee bit. I think it needs to be at 5 1/4, and it's 5 1/2. I don't want that overhang. So let's see. Okay, Velma, you like the white. Yep. Okay, Diana too. Okay, so we're going to use the white, and I think that this is going all the way up. So I need to trim that down just a little bit too. So this is being trimmed down to 5 1/4. And like I said, when I was running the shaded spruce dye with the holly leaf dyes, you know, if you cut this ahead of time, then, you know, it saves you a cut later on, but honestly, either way it works. So what we're gonna do is we are going to put that like so. Now you can see that I didn't make it as wide as that. It doesn't really need to be. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put adhesive right along here. Put my seal right there. And then I can lay this right along there and get just what I need on the for my candy canes. Now you see what? I did that crooked. But it seems to just kind of work that way. Huh? Let's see. Let's see if I should line it up this way or the other way. Let's see. Let's try it that way. Okay, there we go. What do you think? I think that's pretty cute, pretty snazzy. So this is going to be stuck right down to the front of my tag. And let me show you what we're going to do to make this tag extra snazzy. Now I could bring that all the way over, but I like the stripes on both ends of that because to me it just echoes that whole candy cane stripe theme. And I've got a little piece here that didn't come out of my die. Pull that out. So now, I've got a little bit of white showing up there. Don't like that. Come on, candy. You know what? I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm gonna end up messing things up. Now, I thought I might want to put a little piece of gold there, but I think it's gonna need to be skinnier. So let's pull the trimmer out and see about making this. Bring this down to 1/4 inch, so we just have a little skinny piece of gold. I could put ribbon there, but I think that I really wanted this to be just kind of trim and flat because I'm going to put ribbon at the top to attach it. So let's see if I can make a skinny piece of gold. And I'm at 5 1/4 on everything else. So I need to get this at 5 1/4. And this is really just, I don't know about you guys, I don't save a lot of skinny pieces, but white I do, and any of the metallic sheets I do. Because this ends up acting like a little piece of ribbon for me. And honestly, I think that just gives a nice little bit of, kind of breaks up the red and white just a little bit. Now I am going to come in here and I'm going to stick down my candy canes just a little bit. So tell me if you don't like the gold. Other than that, I'm going to go through with it. So let's just do a little brush there and a little brush here. And then sometimes the other thing you need to do with the Tombow is, because it's a liquid glue, it will shift on you. So you kind of, if you just kind of push down on that a little bit, then it's going to stick down. You see what I've got, one still sticking up there a little wee bit. Let's poke him down. Now my candy canes are nice and flat. Yeah, I'm a little crooked. I see my crooked. Can I lift it? Yes. Yay. 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 Okay, let's do it, because that's going to bother me. You know, I'm not terribly big on symmetry, but I do like things to be straight. And I say symmetry because I tend to like things a little bit more free-form. But straight needs to be straight, you know. When you hang a picture on the wall, it needs to be hung straight. And when you have a straight line, it needs to be a straight line. So that is going to be like that. And I think I'm going to add this little bit of gold right there. It just kind of breaks that up. Now, I have a couple of choices. I could put a greeting across here, but honestly, I just put to and from on the back, and that will do the trick. And this is what I was showing you on my class that's coming up, where I give you a package of glue dots with your class. It's because I use several of these little strips of metallic foil paper, and this is the best way to adhere this. You don't, the seal is too wide for this, and so you end up with adhesive all hanging out the edge, which is not very attractive. And you also, if you're using this, it's a little bit hard to contain it. So I find that the glue dots just are perfect for these little skinny strips of foil sheet. I've got a little piece of fuzz there. Boom, voila, I'm liking it. And then what I'm gonna do is this nifty punch. I'll give you my top trick on this punch, because for the longest time, let me grab a little scrap here. For the longest time, what I would do is I would try to put this in and just try to pull it, try to press from here. And sometimes I would see how it doesn't come all the way through. What I found was, well, it's because I didn't have it positioned right. Sometimes if you do that, it just, well, that one did. But my best tip for this is not to try to do which piece you're actually cutting, but to actually put the pressure on the center of the punch. And then you can hear it. It's got that really strong punch, and it goes all the way through. So that is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it right up here. And I'm going to do it here because I want that slot. You see that slot right there? That is just perfect. Let me get this centered. That is going to give me the perfect slot to put a piece of ribbon through. You see, this is the end of this piece of ribbon, so it's got that little piece there. But what I'm going to do is pop this through like so. And that's what that's actually for. It's a little ribbon slot, a little slot punch. And I think this is the really pretty way to do the ribbon, although it's a little bit more fussy, as you can see. But it makes that really pretty loop. So if you run it through 2 times, doubled over there, and then pull it like so, then you get that really pretty, although I think I did it backwards. Let's go the other way. So let's put the folded side, the doubled over side from the front, pull that through, and then you see where that loop is? Then I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to pull that, and that way I get that really pretty little knot up there. And that is ready to tie onto my bag. And like I said, you can put to and from on the back, or we could put a little something on the front. I will say I had a bunch of these little tiny cuts from the Halloween Hoots. I had done a class with that, so I could do something like that. But I don't know that I actually need a greeting on there. I think it, honestly, I'm just going to put it like so. And then I can stamp my to from on the back, or I can just write to from on the back. We do have numerous stamps that say to and from. But that takes a simple bag and really elevates it. And the nice thing about these bags is you can use them for Christmas, you can use them for birthdays, whatever. And then I get to have fun playing with something. I mean, this is fun for me to make. I know that whoever I give this to, this would make a great, anybody I give this to is going to smile, is going to just be touched. They're going to recognize right away that this is not a Walmart tag. They're going to know this is handmade. It's pretty apparent. Not because it's clunky or because it looks unprofessional, but because it has that handmade look. And the great thing I think about these candy canes, this is great for my grandkids. This is great for any of my girlfriends. I'd give this to my husband. You know, candy canes are for all ages. And so I think that it's a really good fit. Now I think am I out of camera range? Do I need to be? I think I need to be down this way. There we go. Nope, I need to be up this way. I can't tell. Well, you can see my messy desk because of where I've been creating. So that's what we did today. We made a tag and we made a thank you card, both with the, not Sweetest Time. Sweetest Time is the name of the stamp set. The actual dies are called Sweet Borders. Now, if you get them together, you get the bundle price of 10% off. I'm thinking that probably the bundle is also on sale. I do know because Velma told us on here, she checked the price for me, that these dies are on sale. So like I said, the dies will stand alone, or you can use them, you know, in conjunction with the stamps. Today I didn't. I just used the dies on their own. So I definitely went way over on time. Thank you so much for hanging with me today. I know that sometimes you have to step away, and that is totally understandable. Thankfully, we've got replay, and so you can catch, you know, the end or the beginning, however it may be that you're able to be here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget that if you want to get in on the awesome end of year closeouts and or the clearance rack refresh, I do have a host code, and it's up at the top of my Sweet Stamper page here. It's also on my email news that went out today. So if you use my host code, I give you some extra goodies and some little thank yous. So again, I will be here tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central Time for some fun stamping with some packets that I sent out in the mail. And I'm actually kind of experimenting with this to see if people like packets better as a thank you gift, or if you prefer to have embellishments and things like that. So I'm anxious to kind of see what the feedback will be, but whether you got a packet or not, come and join me for Stamping Fun. 7 p.m. tomorrow night, and I will be here for the packet stamping. And then of course I will be here again Thursday at 2 o'clock. You see me a lot this week, but that's just the way it's going. So thank you so much again. Take care and God bless.